Hello, everyone, and welcome to our presentation on designing dragons from Dresden Elementary School. I want you to take a journey with me in your mind. Imagine being a student brand new to the country, sitting in a classroom, struggling to grasp new numeracy and literacy concepts in a language that you're just beginning to learn. Now imagine being that same student in a classroom with hands-on, tangible manipulatives to create math equations and word tiles to create phonemes and morphemes in literacy, to create words that you have designed and created yourself. We know that with that will empower our students, engage our students, and that is why we want to create a makerspace at Dresden Elementary. We want to create pathways for our students and not barriers. So our grant proposal is called Designing Dragons. Our mascot is the dragons. I would like to introduce you to our team. I am Dr. Lauren Pell's principal. I have Miss Lieberman, our ESOL teacher. I have Dr. Lang, our computer teacher. I have Miss Yankee, our art teacher, and our dragon for today. I also have Geraldine and Kededen, two of our 4th and 5th grade students from Dresden. We are focusing on strategic goal area 1, student academic success with equity and access. 96% of our students are Hispanic, and many of them come from other countries and/or have family that come from other countries. English is a second language to almost 97% of our students. We are a Title I school, 100% free and reduced lunch. We currently serve approximately 600 students, but in 2 years, due to a new school, we will be serving 900 students.
So imagine a classroom where nearly 9 out of 10 students are learning English for the very first time. That's the reality we face at Dresden. In fact, about 88% of our students are English language learners, many of whom have never been exposed to the English language before they walk through our doors. To give you a clearer picture, 90% of our kindergarten students have no prior experience in the English language. By 3rd grade, over 30% of our students are in their first year or second year in this country, adjusting not only to a new culture, but also a whole new language. As you move up to 4th and 5th grade, many of our students are still building foundational skills, foundational literacy skills that they need to succeed, whether they're new to the country, new to the school, or just new to English. What they need now more than ever is support to thrive. That's where the extension of HB 538 comes in. Providing tools like letter tiles will give these students the hands-on support they need to develop essential language skills and unlock their full potential. At Dresden Elementary, many of our families come from backgrounds where education hasn't always been a priority or a familiar concept. For some of our parents and students, there's little or no prior educational experience, which can deeply affect how they view school and learning. Cultural norms play a significant role here. For many of our families, work is prioritized over school, and education is seen as secondary. This can influence how students, parents, and even some teachers view the potential for academic success. There's a belief, unfortunately, that some of our students can't achieve academic proficiency or mastery, and this mindset holds them back from reaching their full potential. So what happens if we don't make a change? If we continue down the same path, teaching the same way, we're likely to see the same results. Continued failure on the Georgia milestones, and most importantly, missed opportunities for the children. We cannot afford to let that happen. That's why it's absolutely critical that we find innovative, creative solutions to break this cycle and pave the way to success. And you guys can help us with that.
So considerations, there's a long history showing that manipulatives are best practices to be used in classrooms. Students having that hands-on, tangible thing or tangible concept to be able to use helps them to create connections earlier in their brain. Manipulatives are also used to build upon critical thinking skills, which we so drastically need to build upon. In addition, they are valuable, but they are generally very expensive.
All right, but we have a solution. It's the Innovative Makers Lab. So with that, we're going to be serving 4 different departments: technology, art, math, and language arts, ELL and ELA. So our Makers Lab will help to expose our students to critical thinking, to design thinking, and project-based learning, which we know is part of that hands-on project-based learning that will concrete their skills. So one of the first things that we would like to do is to purchase a laser cutter and engraver. So the laser cutter from Glowforge will allow us to cut base 10 blocks. It will allow us to make word sentence blocks. So all the verbs and the nouns will have to fit with a certain puzzle piece so they know if they've got the right verb or the right noun in the correct places. So there's many things that we can do that typical manipulatives may not have. Secondly, we can use that laser cutter for doing really creative designs from anything a child can think of, or an adult can think of from that matter, can be cut and manufactured. So I can do 3D manipulatives, I can make a drone out of it with some parts, I can use microbits and make robots. So there are various things that we're going to be able to do with it. The third thing that we'll be able to do is have it be a profit center for our school, which would include making things like jewelry or Christmas ornaments and things that the children can paint that the parents can purchase and help to continue our growth of our foundation of the Innovative Makers Lab. So that is part of our goal, is to make this self-sufficient in the long run, that once we get the hand up, we can continue on with growing and developing. So the support is very important.
Executive decision. So Kennedy, tell us about a project that you are working on. In your folders, you should have sketches of a project that Kennedy is working on right now. So tell us about your project.
The project that I'm doing today is a game that I'm making with some friends. And the game is about a horror game that has a lot of creatures and persons. And using the laser cutter, we could cut out the creatures and the persons. So that's how we're gonna make out my project of my game.
Okay, and Geraldine is also very excited about technology. Technology is a new class to us this year, so it's something that we want to build upon. Can you tell us how you are going to use these new tools?
So these new tools, we're gonna use, if we win the $10,000, we would buy the laser cutter where we can make robots, and we can get clothes we could cut them out with the laser cutter, and then we could do a fashion show, and they could walk through the runway and they could strike a pose.
Okay, so as you see on our budget template and our here, our first purchase will be the laser cutter engraver from Glowforge. And because I'm wanting to build the skills for our younger kids, our kindergarten through second grade, we're going to start with some Sphero IndyCars that will really help to build that coding concept for our kids. Our next slide is going to show our project timeline. And this is color blocked so that you can see each part of the project and specific deadline, drop dead dates that we need to have along the line. And this is something that is updated with any changes, so the whole entire team knows where we are in that process. Okay? So then we are at our potential impact. So the first thing is we expect to see much higher student engagement and potential higher Georgia milestones.
And students, teachers, and parents will believe in student success.
Students take pride in their work, increasing self-esteem.
Students take ownerships of their learning and increase their self-awards development.
Teachers are expressing hope and dreaming of productive change.
As the parents are exposed to what we are able to do in the Innovative Lab, we believe that they are going to see things through a new lens with their children, with design thinking, the goals, the success, and the incredible opportunities that are ahead of them.
So we thank you, and will you support Designing Dragons?
Good morning. Thank you for your presentation. One of the issues that I found that we ran into last year with during this competition was vendors, having the resources that we needed to meet our timeline for our project. Have you all contacted vendors at this point? In case you all win, you know which vendors to use for the items that you need.
As principal of the school, that was something I was really pushing for. Dr. Lang is a great technology teacher, but knows so many other companies than I know. So I ensured that who she did select is a DeKalb vendor at this time. And I'll let her talk a little bit more about what she selected in the company that we decided upon.
So I chose STEMworks education products for the laser printer and cutter, and that is because they give great support to it. They will ship within 3 days. So they are incredibly prepared to support us. If we are going to be on break, they will make sure that our shipment comes before or after a holiday break. Sphero is going to be the other vendor. They are already a part of our line, and again, same type of receptiveness. So to me, it was really important to have somebody who is going to partner with us, support us with any additional training or support that we may need, and both of these vendors will be doing that.
And we already have the quotes from the vendors as well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
With regard to your schedule and the students rotating into the class to have access, can you speak to what access grade levels and things like that?
Yes, ma'am. So everyone except for our pre-K students will have access. Obviously, the access will depend on the developmental age of the students as well, until we can teach them how to properly use all of the materials. That is why we wanted to ensure to get the Sphero balls as well, so that we could start early with kindergarten and first grade with coding, while they may not be ready for the laser cutter or laser printer at that point. But all grade levels will go. They have a 4-day rotation. So we have 4 specials classes. They will be in the class once every 4 days. Every homeroom will be once every 4 days. But each grade level will go every day.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of sustainability, I look in there and it talks about the products as well as the Dresden Foundation. Can you talk to how much the foundation is committed to supporting, just in case the products don't allow you to make enough money to sustain?
Right. The Dresden Foundation, so I serve on the foundation as the principal. We also have a teacher that serves on the foundation as the 2 school representatives. Their budget, their fiscal year starts at the beginning of a calendar year. So we actually are about to go into the budgeting process with the end of this year for next year. It's something I've already discussed with the board, just not at length, but our next board meeting in December, I am going to present the whole project, especially pending the results of this, to see how they will sustain. But they are always extremely supportive of us, and anything that we show them demonstrates to them that is good for students.
How do you feel you did with the Shark Tank presentation?
I think we did well. We had a lot of nerves. The students were nervous. The lights were a lot. We didn't expect all of the lighting. We even had to pivot a little bit because the presentation that was submitted was an old version, so we were missing a couple slides. But even with all of that, I think we pulled it off. We did a great job, and we're able to answer the questions and now feel a lot better that it's over.
That's great. Our next question is, if you win, what do you plan to do with the resources?
The first thing that we are going to buy is a Glowforge laser cutter and engraver. We can do so many things, from technology-oriented coding manipulatives through doing math-based 10 blocks and letter blocks and sentence blocks. So really some great things that we can do for the whole entire school, which is very important. The second thing we'll buy is some Sphero products to introduce kindergarten, first and second grade to coding at a very simplistic basis and build their skills up for the upper grades as they grow.
I think that's really good. And the last question is, how do you think your innovation stands out from the other competitors?
I think we're really doing what's best for students, and I think everyone's doing that. But how it may stand apart is just the diverse needs of the students that we do have, making sure that we are thinking outside of the box, because obviously language is a barrier for our students, but we want to ensure that they have no cognitive barriers as well. So being very hands-on, starting at a young age, A lot of schools think about the test scores in elementary and they only think about 3rd through 5th grade because that's where the test scores count. And of course, the test scores are how a school is graded, right? So we want to start early with kindergarten to ensure that those skills build up and we have continued success.
Thank you so much. I think what you guys are doing is great.
Thanks.
And I hope you guys are winning the grant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
This competition was amazing. Our students and our educators as well as parents were phenomenal in representing their schools and their projects.
Full steam ahead! Good morning. I'm Greg Wickersham, and I'm the principal at International Student Center.
David Russell, Physical Education.
Teresa Yarbo, Computer Science.
Latrice Eccles James,
Nicholas Beck.
Social Studies in ESOL.
Nicholas Beck, gender student.
I'm a budget student.
And we're here to ask you to share with us $10,000 to start a STEAM lab for our newcomer EL/Life students. This is the full Innovative Solutions team that put together our presentation. So let me tell you a little bit about our school and our program and why we have this need. So our school is the newcomer school for students who are brand new to the country, have limited to no English, and have interrupted formal education. So many of our students come having missed some years in school, perhaps they spent time in a refugee camp, and they come to us with the gaps in their schooling. So our job at International Center is they stay with us for 2 years. We teach them English and foundational academic skills in all the core content areas and prepare them to transition to their high school. When students come to us, they are aged 13 up to 20. So some of them are even much older. So you can see the two young men with us are 16 and 18. And so our job is, again, is to prepare them for our upcoming, prepare them for high school. Our mission is to teach them English and the content skills. As you can see, there's some artwork that some of the students created. Our students are full of talent. Will you go back to the first slide, Coach Russell? My apologies. Okay. I wanted to show you this picture. This picture is some of our students from last year when they went on a field trip to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, right? And at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, they learned about the engineering, they learned about the technology and science behind how things work there, they learned about the art, and it piqued a lot of our students' interest. And we could see in them the joy and excitement about doing something hands-on and practical with their skills. And many of them have interest in such careers. As I said, many of our students being English learners, they need hands-on activities. They need things they can do and see and touch. Also, because some of them are older and at risk of aging out before high school or in need of entering the workforce, we want them to learn practical skills, practical workforce skills, such as you can learn in a STEAM program or a lab. So the purpose of our lab, and my staff is going to tell you a little more about it, is to expose them to science, math, technology, arts, so that we can start them on a pathway so that when they do enter their high schools, they're already on their way, on that pathway to learn those skills. A couple slides. I wanted to share a little more about our demographics. We have 310 students currently, although we have continuous enrollment. So our students will, as they arrive in the country, they continue to enroll, and sometimes we get up to over 400 students by the end of the year. They come from 32 different countries of origin, and they speak 31 different languages. The next chart shows some of the languages our students speak. We have a large number of Spanish speakers, but as you can see, we have Rohingya, Arabic, Swahili, Dari, Pashto, all kinds of languages. So we're dealing with helping those students learn English and prepare themselves for success in U.S. schools where the content is in English. So I'd like to pass on to Dr. Yarbu, who will talk a little bit more about our proposal.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So you're probably asking, why should we get a STEAM lab? It would be very important for us to have a STEAM lab at the International Student Center because it will be a big thing with project-based learning. These students will be able to do some hands-on activities, be able to do projects. One that comes to mind right now is the school has started a garden. So these students will be able to be in the lab
and devise. The first thing I think about is when we have plants, we think about, does it get enough water? Is it, dry, or is it too wet? So these students come up with a plan, come up with a problem, and devise a solution for that problem, where they can come up with gadgets for like Arduinos or microbits, where they can measure the moisture of the plant. That's just one of many ideas we can do with a STEAM lab here at the International Student Center. But also they will learn 21st century skills such as critical thinking. Well, if this garden, we want to grow more plants, so will we need more water, more, what have you, or even come up with other ideas that can help the garden grow and flourish. But that's just one thing. It's so many different projects they can do in school. But also it'll give these students an opportunity to communicate and become more proficient in the English language, but also doing the problem solving skills. They can also collaborate with one another. Just like in corporate America, they have to collaborate with colleagues to come up with solution ideas or even solve a problem. Or maybe they become a manager of a department. So they will learn those kind of skills. They will also get more information technology skills. As everything is growing right now, AI is pretty big. So they learn more and more activities and more things with technology. Learn to take the initiative behind projects. And also, again, social skills. So that is the main reason why we really need the STEAM lab here at the International Student Center, because we need students that will be able to have hands-on activities, be able to collaborate, communicate, and become productive adults in Georgia. And I'll turn it over to Ms. Echo James.
Hello, my name is Ms. Eccles James, but most students call me Ms. EJ, and I'm here to talk to you about our potential impact. We want to increase our EL students' academic achievement in the areas of math, science, technology, and engineering. And as you see, I teach, as I said earlier, I teach social studies. And I can see us teaching in the STEAM lab about I do Georgia studies. So the students can learn about things that impact Georgia, as well, such as growing the plants that grow native to Georgia. While we may have a problem with our weather, when the weather is bad, while we have a problem with crop growing and things of that nature. And that can also motivate our newcomers at risk of aging out before graduating or dropping out to remain in school through graduation, because as I said, going back to that crop idea, the students can learn more about how to grow things, and once that piques their interest, they know that to go into other things, they have to continue on to school. And also, we want to help improve our students' English language acquisition and outcomes in the areas of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And that's very important in offering real-life applicable skills for our students to matriculate into the workforce. Many of my students now, at one time, they were thinking about going into one field that they could do without going to finishing school. Now they're more interested in going into engineering. They want to become mechanics. They want to do other things because they know more about the STEM fields. And I want to also show you our potential room that we have. This is our current room that we have. Come on up, Nicholas. This is our current room that we have that we want to create this lab in, and these are our potential STEAM labs that we feel that we can transform this room into. And I'll pass it on to Mr. Russell.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So my name is Coach Russell. Our future success as a laboratory will align with our goals that are supported by the county, to ensure all students have equitable access and support for academic programs and career pathways. We want these young men as well as the young ladies to see all the opportunities that are out there and take advantage of those. 1.5, improve student academic growth through CCRPI, seeing the connection that college plays as well as the opportunities in the classroom. And having extended opportunities as well. 1.6, enhance student proficiency in digital literacy, understanding the terminology and being successful in the 21st century. All right. So next is progress monitoring. Our lab success will depend on making sure these key components are in place. Evaluation tools will provide many assessments for our stakeholders, which would be our students, our parents, and our teachers. Assessment timing. We want to make sure that the students aren't overwhelmed with assessments, but we want to make sure those assessments are critical to their success. And with that, we're going to synchronize our assessments with the county's assessments. Next, we have demand. We're going to review on-site STEM utilization. We have a chart. So as people check in, we want to make sure that they're comfortable in any kind of situations that may arise. They can put that in an anonymous feedback box and share it with us. Then we have tracking. We want to make sure that our students, based on the data, are receiving everything that they need to have to be competitive in the 21st century. We're going to compare that data with the county as well as the state. And then next we have insights. We're going to have a task force to maintain all of the information and make sure that this is successful for our students as well as our school community. And then our findings, we're going to look at all the findings and make adjustments as needed. Here's our sustainability chart. Year number one, we're hoping to attain that grant. The next couple of years, we're going to focus on grants from the county as well as fundraising. All right, that concludes our presentation. And team, you have something to say?
1, 2, 3.
Full steam ahead. Woo, woo. Thank you.
I have a question. Yes. So you mentioned STEAM, but when I look at the budget, I don't see art. And so can you explain how art's going to be integrated into the work?
Question. Would you like to speak to that?
We may have engineering renderings. So having those things where kids can have hands-on experiences to tangible manipulatives that they can work on projects, and that brings them into the learning environment.
Gotcha.
And also art is also part of engineering and architecture. And many of the students are very good artists, and they use their art ability to draw the models and things that they need.
Yep.
So we will use the supplies given to us to use in the areas of art as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We have an existing art program and classes, so some of the resources we already have there can be included in the lab.
Yep. Thank you.
Would there be a schedule of access, and how will that look?
On our progress monitoring, we're going to have a utilization chart. So everyone will check in probably through the media center, and that way we can see how it's being used and what types of interventions and extensions we need to put in place.
Okay.
Yeah, the vision is that it would be shared, I think, with the science teachers, the math teachers, the art teacher, and the computer science teacher, Dr. Yarbo, so that there would be a rotation that would be shared. So we currently don't even have a science lab for our science teachers, so this would be part of the use for that.
A part of your sustainability plan, you stated that you were going to seek grants from DCSD or outside. Have you all looked into potential grants that you may apply for to use for this project as well to sustain it?
We haven't gotten that far yet. Do you want to?
Well, I know of some, just from working with computer science. There are corporations that will work with us, or you can put in a grant with them and try to get funding through them. And then some of the universities sometimes do donations, so we'll hit up some of the universities like Georgia Tech. I'm not sure if Morehouse is doing anything as of yet, but I know they have Code House, Morehouse, so maybe we can work with them as well. And like I said, some of the corporations that I've worked with in the past that, reaching out to some of them and reaching out to many others too, not just limiting it to Atlanta, just doing nationwide as well.
Thank you.
And also, being a member of the grants department, have you all decided to use your community partners, your school partners?
That
to
will
help with
absolutely be
sustainability?
one of our, we pursue, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And we're still developing some of our community partners. We are, yeah, absolutely.
As a former science teacher and understanding labs and of course learning a new language, how will this lab address safety and ensure that safety procedures are communicated
I'll
effectively?
open up and say that. First, I want to just compliment our team. This team is phenomenal. They work hard. The students are excellent. They come in from many different countries and are eager to learn, have a passion and a drive that's unspeakable. As far as safety, I'm a physical education teacher. That's my passion. And the kids will tell you, if you were to ask them, the first word is safety. Safety, safety, safety. So we do things like Red Ribbon Week, where we talk about safety and other things with the guidance department. So we'll probably bring in other departments and focus on safety and have different charts and visuals and anchor charts to enhance the outlook.
And also, we will have a safety class for the students to enter into the program. I didn't mention, but I also was a science teacher as well. And I know that you offer that at the beginning of your courses before the students take it, and they will take a test to ensure that we know they understand the safety.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm looking at your budget and I see the types of things that you have decided to put in the lab. How did you come to the decision on what types of things you're going to put in your STEAM lab? And will these change over the course of time based on student interest, or what are the things that are going to
we created a needs assessment. We created a needs assessment. Perfect. We reached out to different departments, our science department, math department, and brought them in. So a lot of the budgetary items are based on what they recommended.
Perfect.
As well as our secretary.
And we also thought outside of the box and looked at the kits that we wanted to order, and instead of ordering the kit and that's it, we ordered the supplies that go into that kit so that we can guarantee that we have a sustainability for whatever projects and programs that we have.
Perfect.
How do you feel you did with the Shark Tank presentation?
Awesome. We did our best.
I think we did great.
We did our best.
We nailed it.
We nailed it.
That was great.
Okay, so follow-up question, if you win, how would you use the resources?
We're going to use the resources to fund our STEAM lab for our students.
Can you give us a little more information about the STEAM lab?
So this will be a shared lab room, but for our science, math, art, technology, computer science teachers, where they'll bring their classes in to do hands-on projects, learn real-life applicable skills in the STEAM areas. Yeah.
How does your innovation stand out from the other competitors?
We are an international student center. We have students from all over the world coming to us, learning English, and we also have students, they also have missing gap years in school. We're catching them up. We're trying to teach them English. We're trying to help them to grow and to become productive citizens of the United States.
And it's interdisciplinary, so we're combining lots of different disciplines into this particular activity.
Plus, we're adding innovation too. They're getting hands-on experience with technology, and they're getting up-to-date technology so they can be competitive in careers when they graduate.
And the experience was awesome. I really appreciate just the opportunity to be part of what's going on over here. The idea that you have students, parents, and staff working to try to make their schools better is something that I really support, and I appreciate the district bringing us in, offering resources to help them do what they're trying to do.
Good morning, my name is Cassidy and I'm a 9th grade AVID student.
Good morning, my name is Fatu and I'm a 9th grade AVID student.
Good morning, my name is Jessica and I'm a 9th grade AVID student.
Good morning, my name is Baji and I'm a 9th grade AVID student.
Good morning, my name is Terrell and I am a 9th grade AVID student.
Good morning, my name is Dwayne and I'm a 9th grade AVID student.
Good morning, my name is Samaj and I'm a 9th grade AVID student.
Good morning, I am Mrs. Rudolph, the AVID elective teacher, and we are from Latonia High School, and our title is Bridging the Gap 21st Century Avid Classroom, okay? So what this is, they're gonna present to you an innovative solution for our students at our school, okay? Here they go.
Our problem of practice is that our school graduation rate is 47% compared to the district, and that we feel bored in our classes as we only take notes and work in textbooks. We feel unproductive and unprepared for college due to us having limited access to real-world applicants. The Avid Innovation Lab will help us be productive and prepared for college and give us 21st century skills such as communication, creativity, and problem solving. Thank you.
The Lithonia High School goal is for all 9th grade average students to successfully transition to the 10th grade. We want to enhance their 21st century skills and also include engagement, collaboration, and communication in all classes. We will also like to decrease the achievement gap.
Our project goals align with District 1, Area 1 academic students and success and equity. Our graduation rate, advanced literacy, collaboration, critical thinking, and access to academic programs and career pathways.
Imagine a space for us. We are seeking $10,000 to create an Avid Innovation Lab. This will provide us with 21st century skills such as the think tank. The think tank will provide our students with a space to brainstorm and collaborate. This will provide communication opportunities between us. Next up is the interactive data wall. The interactive data wall will provide our students with a data wall that will help them keep up with their grades and help them know what they need help with. Next up, we have the Media Creation Zone. The Media Creation Zone is for our guest speakers to feel comfortable, and if they're a low speaker, we have microphones for them to speak with. The Media Creation Zone is also for us to create our TRS videos and other work that we do in the class. We also have the STEM Zone. The STEM Zone will provide us with 3D printers and other code kit items that are needed for STEM-focused activities. Last but not least is the Technology-Focused Spaces. The Technology-Focused Spaces will provide us with modern dynamic technologies that are required for tech-driven learning. This will be a significant upgrade from our previous class, which only had rundown tables and only rows, because our Avid Innovation Lab will provide us with better tables that will provide collaboration, which gives us an opportunity at communication.
Stringing off of what Baggio said, these innovative Avid Lab classrooms will support not just us, but our environment. I have recreated our classrooms on a building engine called Roblox Studio. These classrooms will have 4 stations, like he said, the Media Creating Center, the STEM Zone, Think Tank, and Technology Zone. But in these 3 pictures, this is only my first prototype, which will not be final. But in this one, it has all the 4 stations. You can see the Technology Zone, Think Tank with the beanbag, so everybody can study and be comfortable by themselves. In our classrooms, these items will support us. So the collaborative tables, so we all can work in groups and communicate with each other. The rolling whiteboard, so we could work on our TRS while in class, so we don't have to worry about moving place to place every 10 seconds, since we do have 4 stations. And the teachers, that's who will support us and have their own smart board.
Transitioning into the skit.
Okay, give it to me.
In a traditional classroom, learning can sometimes feel disconnecting from the real world.
Today we're going to do algebra. Open your textbooks to page 45 and complete the problems.
Oh, why do we even need this? When will I ever use it?
This is so boring. I don't get it either.
Without real-world connections and extra activities, students can sometimes lose motivation and the performance suffers. Scene 2. Now, imagine a classroom where students can learn by doing. Welcome to the Avid Innovation Lab.
Today we'll design a bridge using STEM software and test its strength with our virtual simulator. Let's work in teams.
This is so cool. Let's try adding more support beams to handle more weight.
This is like an engineering project. I know, right?
We've got this.
This isn't just math, it's also problem solving for the real world. I am ready for college and beyond.
With critical thinking, collaboration, the Innovation Lab could prepare us for real life expectancy in school, college, and life.
Wow, this is so cool. I wish we had a classroom like this.
The Avid Innovation Lab isn't just a classroom, it's a pathway to the future. Transitioning back. Now my classmate will tell you about the impact of the Innovation Lab.
The Avid Innovation Lab will help level up middle tier students and close the achievement gap between high achieving students and middle tier students. I know we have all felt behind some of our peers if we had all C's. Like last year I was a C student with bad attendance. This year Avid has given me an incentive to come to school and try my hardest in all my classes. The Avid Innovation Lab will help fix the achievement gap between high achieving students and middle tier students by giving us real world connections and interactive learning. The technology in the Avid Innovation Lab will boost motivation and engagement with project-based learning. The Avid Innovation Lab will also give us 21st century skills that will help us with our future college and career readiness.
We can monitor our progress by setting clear goals, establishing milestones. We can also we take surveys / implementations before the Innovation Lab, so we can see what we look like before, and then in February when we have everything that we need, we can use that and take another survey to see how that helped us. We can sustain the money by doing CSIPs, having fundraisers, dues, and our principal plans on donating to our program.
So my wonderful students have just told you about their Avid Innovator Lab. Now it's up to you to not only transform a classroom, but to transform all the lives of these students and the rest of the students that we left at school. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I have a question. What is an AVID student? What does AVID mean?
Good question.
AVID is Advanced via Individual Determination. It is a college prep class.
Anybody else want to add to it?
The Avid Studio will be for us to better our education, because in the basic classroom that we have now, that we can collaborate and work on our 21st century skills.
Avid will also help us with our other classes with TRFs, and they also help us with writing, which is WICR, which is writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading.
And are all students AVID students?
No, not all students are Avid students. There is an interview process. They have to have community service hours, and we focus on the middle tier so that we can get them to our high achieving taking AP classes. They will be required to take an AP class in their 10th grade year. And so like they said, advancement via individual determination, so they want to be in this class. The counselors cannot just put them in there. Like I said, there's an interview process, and they have to maintain a certain grade point average and complete the community service hours. And we focus on college and career readiness. We've already went on one field trip this year. We visited Oglethorpe University. So they were able to see a real college class live as a 9th grader.
And I'm sorry, one more question. How many AVID students do you have?
Okay, so currently, this is a very new program. We just started this program this August. So currently we have 27 AVID students, and we are already in the process of our recruiting from the middle school. So then we'll have a 9th, a 10th, and 11th grade AVID class next school year.
How often do they rotate into the class? Is it per semester or throughout the year?
It's a year-long
Year-long course.
Yep.
Okay.
So some of these students gave up, of course they have to take the required health and personal fitness, but the physical conditioning and the weightlifting, they gave that class up so that they can be in this college and career class.
So it's an elective?
It is.
Okay.
Yes. Mr. B?
Well, anyone can answer it.
Okay.
But one, the skit was dope. Great job, students.
Clap it up, clap it up.
My question is, have you got a sense or from other AVID students, is this what they want? The expected users, how do you know this will be something that they will embrace?
All of our classmates will have got very tired of the traditional learning, and they feel like this would be a way to help boost their academic prowess.
I'm curious about the notebook and the organization, since that is an artifact that was brought. Can you just kind of quickly describe that notebook?
So this binder is filled with all my classes, and in the front page I have my AVID classes, and we take notes, and this is what a TRF looks like.
Can somebody explain what a TRF is?
A TRF is a tutorial request form. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do TRFs, and we get into groups and go over tutorials and points that we don't understand. On the back, we do a T-chart showing our essential question and our point of confusion. We do the work on this side and the steps on this side, and our classmates ask questions to help us find our aha moment and figure out what we did wrong.
With only having 27 currently, is there a way to identify which students can be AVID students?
Absolutely. So, like you said, we only have 27 right now. We do have counselor and teacher recommendations. So that's the best, because these students are in the class with the teachers all day, so they know better than really the counselor. But we do have support from our counselor. We have an AVID counselor, actually.
Okay.
So we have the support. Our principal asked for this program. So it's just been amazing that we started in August and we've already, have reached so many milestones. But yes, to answer your question, teacher and counselor recommendation. And then now I have students coming up to me asking me to be an AVID. Everybody want to be an AVID, so you have to tell them the guidelines, and it's just not a free-for-all. But
okay, that
yes.
was my next question. Is it specific guidelines like academic requirements?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
And what results have you already seen from the students that have been in AVID?
Okay, so we haven't got a report card yet, but from the progress report, as DJ mentioned, what I did was I went back to middle school. So for example, use DJ since he already told you his business. He was a C student, and now DJ has 3 A's and 1 B. So I personally think that on our Tuesdays and Thursdays during tutorials, they are working on content area classes. So math, science, government, world geography, and whatever point of confusions they have, they stop in groups first to work. I'm not even really involved. I'm a facilitator, and usually 99% of the time somebody at the table can help them find the answer.
With 27 students in a 4x4 block or block schedule, how many per block? How many students per block?
20, about 30, 27 to 30.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
I think we did good.
They did. They killed it. Period. They killed it. They did.
If you guys win, how would you use the resources?
We would use it to build our own AVID innovative lab.
Okay, what's gonna be in that lab, guys?
Collaborative tables, rolling whiteboards, iPads,
Data media center,
STEM zones, think tank,
technology.
That's really what it's actually do.
So what benefits do you think that this will provide to your school, and who specifically in the school will benefit?
This will provide like real world learning for us AVID students. Like more students can join AVID, but right now we have 27 students. They just have to pass the guidelines, and yeah.
So what is an AVID student?
An AVID student is an AVID student is a student that wants to like learn more about college.
I'm sorry.
Learn more about college and advance to college. And AVID stands for Advancement via Individual Determination.
So it's a college and career ready class.
Yeah.
They have to want to be in it. Nobody made them be in it. They asked to be in it. So
and it's just all of them aspire to go to college one day.
It's really good.
I enjoyed today's pitch. Being on this side of the judging process, last year we participated as a school with trying to obtain the $10,000, and we had to be creative. And we actually won the $10,000 to create a Zen room at my school on last school year. So being on this side of the project as a judge, I enjoyed seeing the students bring to life the problem of practice and what project they wanted to see happen within their school community. And the students brought enthusiasm, creativity, and just poured out their hearts as to how the $10,000 would benefit their student population and their school community.
All right, good morning. Good morning. I'm Dr. Shakir. I'm the proud principal here at Princeton Elementary School, and I'm here with some of our wonderful team members who will introduce themselves. We have...
I am Gwendolyn Farrell, and I am the proud counselor, one of the counselors at Princeton Elementary School.
Hi, I'm Anique McMillan. I am an academic coach at Princeton Elementary School.
And today we want to pitch to you all our idea of creating a calming space at Princeton Elementary School for our students. So before we dive into our presentation, we thought that it would be very beneficial for you all to kind of hear from our students first. So we have a quick video that we want to show you to begin.
Good morning. My name is Janae, and I'm a student at Princeton Elementary School. Today, I will be asking questions to a few students. How would you feel if we had a calm and sensory room at Princeton Elementary School? Come with sunshine. How would you like if we had a sensory room at Princeton Elementary School? I would feel good because so kids can release their stress. Janae, how would you feel if we had a sensory room in Princeton Elementary? I would feel good because, like, everybody can release their stress and be happy and have a good day. So, Tristan, how would you like to have a sensory room?
I would like to have a sensory room at Princeton because it would be good with trampolines and stuff like that because it would make it funner and because I would like it with like trampolines and stuff like that so it could like make it to make me calm down because that's what makes me calm down the most.
All right. So as demonstrated in the video, our project is a calm down space. And this calm down space will obviously be inside of Princeton Elementary School, where scholars can be escorted by staff throughout the day if they need a brain break. And we all need a break from time to time, and our scholars need a break from time to time as well. And the brain break, scientifically, it has been researched that brain breaks are very beneficial to scholars because they promote emotional regulation. And in this room, we will have various sensory items to promote this as well. And it will also increase emotional awareness, increase their focus and concentration, and also allow them an opportunity to calm and relax themselves. And also, very importantly, our scholars will feel safe and protected in this environment. And as mentioned, we have a very comprehensive team that helped us in developing this proposal. Our administrative leadership team, along with our academic coach and also our lead teacher for special education, our student council member who was featured in the video, also our Area 3 mental health coordinator, climate and culture coordinator, our head custodian, and our field services operations supervisor, and our executive administrator. And we also contacted and spoke with some other district leaders as well. So we wanted to ensure that we captured all aspects of the proposal so that we could create the most beneficial and the most warming and welcoming space for scholars when needed. So the problem of practice, our proposal does align with the district's strategic goals. The first strategic goal being the student success, equity, and inclusion, because our calm down space also will be utilized by our students with special needs as well. And also district goal number 4, climate and culture. And our school is an emerging practices school, and we want to reinforce positive behavior interventions and supports, and we have a very holistic approach as well. And this space also aligns with our district-wide PBIS goals, and it is a very supportive environment. Our second problem of practice that we address is also, it addresses the behavioral needs of our students, and as mentioned, it is an inclusive approach, and we want to help build resiliency and also reinforce positive behaviors for all of our students. And our last bullet point here is that, as mentioned, studies do overwhelmingly and empirically support the need for calming spaces for scholars, and the stimuli does help them to manage their anxiety and their emotional overload. And as we know, some scholars' school is the safest place for them. They feel the safest at school, and so we want to ensure that they have that feeling of safety and security at school, that there are staff that they can go to, and that there are spaces and places within the school that they can go to when they need to reset and recharge. And that is the goal and the focus of our calming room.
All right, so in terms of our goal, in terms of in terms of creating our calming space, we wanted to see a 20% reduction in our overall behavior infractions, which would really align with strategic plan area goal number 4, climate and culture, because as a school, we are emergent in our practices in terms of making sure that we become a fully vetted PBIS school. However, we've noticed over the last couple of years that we've had quite a few students, primarily in our primary grades, pre-K through second, who come in who have a need for more emotional support. And what we recognize as a school-based team is that with those particular groups of scholars, they don't always have the words to express how they're feeling. So as we sit back and we look at our data, disaggregate our data, we decided that maybe this calming space would be a great opportunity for scholars to come into this room and be able to kind of act out or play through their different emotions so that we can best address them. Now, the potential impact, the impact that we are expecting with the calming room at Princeton, again, aligns with our goals in terms of making sure that we are in alignment with PBIS. We're promoting opportunities for our students to have space and access to the needs at the given times that they need additional support. So our goal and impact of having this calming center space would be to improve our school climate, as well as it gives our staff an additional opportunity to learn about the different strategies by taking students to the calming space, and we would be able to provide training and support to our staff members so that they know how to use that space accordingly, so that we can help our students with their emotional regulation. But more importantly, for us as a school-based team, this would allow us to teach our kids the skills that they need so that they are able to begin to self-regulate, which again aligns with the district's goal around social emotional learning and making sure that our students can be advocates for themselves as well. Now, sustainability. How are we going to sustain this space if we got this grant? One of the things that we pride ourselves on at Princeton is that we do involve our community and we do establish community partnerships. So as we were working through the process of applying for the grant, we had an opportunity to speak to some of our community-based partners, and I've just listed a few of them. We partner with the Richard B. Harris Arts Foundation. We have a PTO that's heavily involved in different activities at the school. We have our local church up the street that partners with us with various disciplinary initiatives, as well as a school, we've partnered for the last 3 years with various mental health agencies. So they were really excited about the opportunity for us to get this grant, and they have agreed to help us sustain this grant. We also formed a newly formed partnership this year with the Arts Now Foundation. So the Arts Now Foundation, they come into our school, they provide our teachers with various training around how to engage students. So when I mentioned this to our partner liaison at Arts Now, they were really excited about the opportunity to partner with us in the design, implementation, as well as the maintenance and sustainability of this space. And then the last two partners that we have KBCN Network, which partners with us right now with our students to run our weekly morning show. So they also are invested in creating this space for some of our students to thrive, as well as our Kona Ice initiative. So in short, we really want to wrap our arms around all of our partners that once, if awarded this grant and given this opportunity, we would be able to sustain it, because we want this to be something that is a space that's long lived for our students, so that they know that they have the sacred space that they can go to when they need those timeout periods.
All right, now we have our implementation timeline. Our implementation timeline goes from early December into the end of the school year to make sure that we have fully implemented our calming space. So in early December, we are going to finalize the location that we're going to have for students to make sure that it's a centralized location that all students have access to. We're going to give surveys to students and staff, and we're going to finalize the supply list for what we feel the students need and what the staff is asking for based off of these surveys. In early to mid-December, we're going to start preparing the room and also get the items ordered for the room. By early to mid-January, we're going to begin the setup and finalize the setup by February 2025. By early March, we are going to have a huge open house ribbon cutting of the Calm Down space. We will, by the end of that time, we're also going to train the teachers on how to come through and use the items with the students. By the end of March, we're going to do another status check and try to figure out what additional supplies we may need, any changes we may need to have based off of student and staff feedback. April 2025, we will implement those changes based off of the feedback. We will finalize those room changes, and by mid-May, it will be a fully functioning room. So that is our full pitch. However, you all have had a long day already of pitches, and we thought that you all may need a calm down kit, because you all may be having sensory overload. And if you scan that QR code on there, it has tips and tricks and ways that those items in your calm down kit can help you to regulate yourself when you are overstimulated and need some way to relieve some tension and stress.
Will these supplies be available in the room for staff or just for students?
We probably will end up doing a little bit of both. While the room is primarily designated for our students, we also recognize that there are times with staff that they need to have a space to go in and get some strategies. And so we would, when we make those packs and things of that nature, we would have enough for staff, because it's also a teachable opportunity for some of our teachers to take that back to their classrooms and then use it within their classrooms.
And also, in considering the furniture that we would like to purchase, if awarded the grant, then we would also like to purchase seating that will be appropriate for staff as well. Not just low seating, but seating that is an appropriate height for adults also when they go into the room.
I got one more question. Will the room be monitored, or will students have to come in with adults to calm down?
They must always be with adults. We will never leave students unescorted or unattended. They will be supervised at all points in time.
And we will also have a process in place similar to how we use with our science lab, where teachers will have opportunities to sign up so that they can have access to that space as well.
It sounds like an amazing space. So how do you prevent children from acting up just so they can go to the space?
So one of the things that we'll put in place is that it will be timed, and we will know our students, and we will, of course, we have developed relationships with our scholars, and so we are able to discern when it is truly a need, because there is a crisis at hand, versus them just wanting to escape their work or because they're having some other challenges in which they're attempting to avoid. And so a timer will be very helpful in that. And also when students come, we will educate them on the intent of what the room is for, and also that it is time limited.
And our counselors also at Princeton, they do monthly classroom guidance lessons. So as we begin the timeline implementation, one of the things that I'll make sure happens is that the counselors are going to each of their assigned grade levels, and that they kind of do an in-service with the whole class, kind of, previewing what the space is about, what are the parameters for visiting the space. There may even be opportunities for students to take a tour during that time period so that everyone is familiar, so that everybody knows the clear structure around how the space is supposed to be used.
Is there plans to engage with parents?
Absolutely. Through our PTO collaboration piece, our PTO is going to be a part of that because they're going to sit on our committee in terms of our planning and development. And so we have a cadre of parents that volunteer at our school. So of course, anyone that's in the building in terms of the adults, they will all be trained around the parameters for using this space and how this space is to be used with students and or staff.
And also there have been opportunities for students to for parents to come into the school to support their scholar, and so we will also share with them, show them the space as well. And it's also an opportunity for us to educate parents around the importance of social emotional awareness as well, and that they can reinforce those same skills at home.
Will the space be used as a reward as well for if a student is like on a type of behavior intervention plan and they need a reward, or through PBIS?
Yes, that is definitely a possibility as well. Absolutely. But once again, time.
Time reward. Okay.
Yes.
How do you manage, and I know you probably have a process, I'm not an educator, so forgive the question if it's out of ignorance, but how do you manage, and I know you said it's time, but how do you manage the children missing instruction or work while they're in the calm down room?
So in my experience, this is my 4th year serving as principal of the school. So ideally, we like to build in those opportunities for our kids. Right now, we currently have processes in place if kids need to have a check-in with a counselor, things of that nature. And we try to ideally plan that around children's specials or connections time. However, we have seen in the last couple of years an influx of students that just have emotional dysregulation at any given point. So my stance as the building leader is that we always have to attend to the need of the student first. So in those instances, we do, and we have a small pocket of students that we pretty much know off the top of our heads who might be those students that might be disruptive during the middle of the day. So if that happens, we want to try to provide that space for the student, because what we don't want to happen, and what has happened previously, is that the disruptions can become so pervasive that it impedes the learning of the entire classroom. So, we can we'll build in a process to kind of build in those supports for kids that need that remediation piece. But my major concern is making sure that we have a space and an opportunity to respond immediately to the particular needs of that student at that time.
How do you feel you did with the Shark Tank presentation?
Oh, I think we did an excellent job. We love the opportunity. I think it's always good to be able to advocate for the students at Princeton. So I think we did a great job.
Yeah, I agree. I think we planned well so that we made sure that we stayed within the time constraints and we're able to convey everything we want to share with the audience.
Yes, I concur with everything that they said, and we're just very appreciative of the opportunity, and we look forward to hearing our names being announced.
If you guys win, how would you use the resources?
Our project was working on designing a calming space for our students. So if we win the grant, then we are going to create a calming space in our school building that will be accessible to our students as well as some of our staff members when they need it.
That's right. So what benefits do you think this will provide, and how will this help students in their academic careers?
I think the first thing is that we're going to work with our students on helping to manage their emotional regulations. So, being in the elementary school, we've seen over the last couple of years where we've had an uptick of our youngest age learners, pre-K through 2nd grade, where they have some emotional challenges and they don't always know how to put words to how they're feeling. So this space is hopefully an opportunity to help them learn how to self-regulate their behaviors as well as communicate how they're feeling.
And also, I would just like to add that our project, it is inclusive of all of our scholars that we have. So our scholars with special needs are also able to benefit from it also.
How will the teachers benefit from this? What will they be able to get out of this?
Well, the grant will support the culture and climate of the school, and so that benefits all of our stakeholders, and so teachers will definitely benefit. And it also, with the students being able to learn how to regulate themselves, there will be fewer disruptions in the classroom and throughout the building, and so everyone will benefit.
And we're also a PBIS school, so one of the things that we have in our teachers' classrooms is that they have the chill out centers. So hopefully with the common space opening up for students, this will also be an opportunity for teachers to get some new strategies that they can use within their classroom so that they can apply them with students who don't always necessarily need to leave the classroom to come to a different space to kind of regulate their emotions.
I love the different pictures from all the 6 schools. What stood out most to me was that they brought some of the kids out. They spoke very well. The presentations were executed extremely well as well, so that's what stood out. What puts it over the top, I would have to say from top to bottom how they really presented the idea of what they were looking for the grants for their schools. For instance, like wellness centers, how is it going to impact the students, the staff, what requirements they need, down to what they need in the rooms. That was pretty much it for me.
Stevenson Middle School, our why. At Stevenson Middle School, we believe true academics and social success begins from within. As students navigate the complex world of middle school, they need to have a supportive space where they can learn to process emotions, reflect, and grow in maturity, emotional maturity. Our proposed initiative is designed to help students understand, embrace the wide range of emotions that they experience, building a foundation for lifelong well-being and achievement. Building emotional resilience for academic and social success at Stevenson Middle School, inside out. Well, let's meet our team. I am Ms. Tora Hancock, PTSA President and Parent. Ms. Trevina Evigan, PAC Chair and Parent. Ms. Centilia Abrams, Title I Parent Liaison. Mr. Ameve Siwa, student at Stevenson Middle. Ms. Maisha Washington, parent. Ms. Carmen Smith, PTSA First VP. And Ms. Kimberly Palmer, teacher, Stevenson Middle School.
All right, so stay with me for a second. Has anybody seen Inside Out, the movie Inside Out, 1 and 2? Yes? Well, if you haven't, that's okay too, because I'm going to give you a brief explanation. So a couple of years ago, the first movie came out, and it was the story of a young girl named Riley. And Riley had moved to a new city, and she was beginning to experience all of these emotions: sadness, fear, and anger, and disgust. And so the movie talked about how these emotions helped make her into a whole kid. Well, last year they did a follow-up to the movie, and it was Riley now in middle school. And as a middle school ourselves, we understand that students are experiencing a wide range of emotions. But in addition to emotions like sadness and fear, which is introduced in the first movie, emotions like envy and boredom and ennui are introduced as well. And so we decided to tackle our issue from the inside out, and we pulled inspiration from the movie Inside Out. And so what we have here is our wellness room, and we have a mock-up of our check-in and all of the different modules that students will be able to participate when they come inside of our wellness room. But as we said, we're dealing with emotions. We're dealing with joy. We're dealing with anger. We're dealing with disgust and sadness. We understand that students are whole and they have all of these emotions, and they need a place where they can unpack them, process them, and continue to achieve academic and social success. So what does this mean to treat the whole child? And as we look at behavioral data, we understand that how a person feels can impact how they show up to work. And if you're a student, if you're a 12-year-old student, a 13-year-old student, a 14-year-old student, we understand that those emotions can impact how you behave and learn at school. So here's some information and data points over our recent years of behavioral issues in our schools. So in 2001, you can see we were kind of low. We had 391 major incidences and 214 out of school suspensions. But look at 2022 to 2023. Those numbers doubled. And although we are currently on a downward trend, which is great, we want to continue to put practices in place to continue to support our students' well-being as a whole. Now, we also know not only does it impact how students behave and perform at school, it also impacts whether they show up at all. So we're talking about absenteeism here. And as we look at the data here, our chronic absenteeism rate was 20%. And although that's lower from the district average by 7%, we still understand that emotions can impact a student's ability to show up to school. And it's linked to several factors, including emotional distress, disengagement, and unaddressed mental health issues, all of which we hope to address in our wellness room at Stevenson Middle School.
Our why. The case for our wellness room, we aim to empower students with tools they need to navigate their emotions, build resilience, and thrive in all aspects of their lives. Moving beyond traditional Zen rooms, focus solely on relaxation. Our wellness room will implement the proven strategies of the positive behavior, intervention, and support PBIS framework. By delivering both the universal Tier 1 and targeted Tier 2 interventions, this innovative space will cater to the diverse emotional and behavioral needs of our students. It is a proactive solution designed to foster emotional growth, improve well-being, and cultivate a positive school climate while creating a more supportive and inclusive school community. Our solution, the reason why we're here. We are seeking the $10,000 to be able to fulfill what we're trying to do with this room, to purchase furniture, flooring, software, to be able to monitor regarding our check-ins and our check-outs, technical equipment, and also miscellaneous decor and art. How y'all doing?
So some of the key innovations that are involved with this project are obviously the framework, which is our initiative is rooted in Tier 1 and Tier 2 strategies of the PBIS framework, which we're all familiar with as educators and school system. So it provides a structured system for fostering emotional growth and behavioral improvement. We will be offering school-wide training and professional development, and that will look for teachers, staff members, parents, and peer leaders who will focus their energies on evidence-based strategies for promoting mental health and emotional regulation. By addressing emotional distress and student disengagement and behavioral triggers, we aim to support the whole child and create pathways to both academic and personal success. Our lifespan approach to wellness is this space will equip the students with the essential tools to regulate their emotions, solve their own problems, and build their social skills, which is a layering system which will lay the foundation for them to utilize these situations and skills in the future going into high school, college, and beyond. The parental involvement, the wellness room will actually be staffed by level 3 employees, which would be someone like me. I do have the pleasure of being a retired special education teacher on top of everything else, not just a parent. So that gives me an added benefit to being in the school and being in that room, which I think we need. And we want to look for parents that have certain skill sets. You know, we love our volunteers, but we do want those skill sets in there. And in the classrooms, we will be offering the workshops so we can teach the parents to teach their children to regulate their emotions, because sometimes parents can't regulate their emotions. I always say our children are just little people with those same big emotions.
All right. So if we're talking about sustainability of a project like this, we want to make sure that our initiative is aligned to what the district has for us in place. And so we have a set of 5 goals here that we hope to accomplish through our wellness room. And each one of those goals is aligned with the strategic plan of the district that should take us for at least 5 or 6 years in the future. And so you can see that as we're hoping to enhance student emotional regulation
increase academic engagement, provide professional development, foster peer support and community building, and promote mental health wellness. All of these are aligned with goals that the district has with culture and climate, mental health and wellness, and school, family, and community engagement. And what I want to specifically talk about are the percentages that we hope to gain. So we're just talking in the first year. We hope to have students participating at a 75% participation rate. Okay, within the first year, having at least 25% of our students using the wellness room in some way. And then we hope to, as we measure their engagement, have a 10% increase in what they're doing in their classroom. So those students that are visiting the wellness room, we want to make sure that we're seeing positive impacts into their academics. And as we talk about fostering peer support and community building, we want to give students opportunities to support each other. So training them so that they can become mentors and they can lead activities in mental health. And then also training our teachers, providing at least in the beginning 2 professional developments a year. And we're not waiting to start when we start in 2025. We want to start at the end of this school year so that next year they're prepared to hit the ground running. And then we also want to make sure that as we're bringing parents in, that, like she said, we're training them on how they can support their students, but also that we give them the wealth of information that they need so that they can spread it out into the community and we can bring as many students into our building so that they can benefit from such a project. So let's see what a typical day in a wellness room may be like.
Class, you will have 15 to 20 minutes to prepare for the test. Yes? Macy and Macy, would you like to go to the wellness room?
I'm studying hard. I'm ready for this test. But Jane can train me. How could she? We've been best friends since 3rd grade. And now she's trying to talk to my mom. I can't take this. I hate this stupid game. Maybe you don't be on your phone so bro, like shut up, you don't even know anything. It's just so like you never saw it just so relaxed. It's okay to feel hurt. Losing trust in a friend can be painful. Take a moment here with me to breathe.
Yeah, you're gonna get it. You feel betrayed. Jane knew you liked your mom, and now you feel like she's crossed the line.
Maybe, but Jamal gave us both notes. It wasn't Jane's fault. I think maybe I was reacting. Okay, well let's think about what we do have. Look at this wellness room. It's here to help you stop and breathe. I feel ready for my test now. Thank you.
Middle school wellness. Middle school is where you develop our identity and learn to process our emotions. But sometimes we become overwhelmed and anxious. We just need to take a break to figure it out. Having a wellness room available to Stevenson Middle School will give us an opportunity to pause and reflect in a non-judgmental space. Even providing new tools we can use when we have those difficult moments. And as a student at Stevenson Middle School, I think having a wellness room will really benefit Stevenson Middle School because sometimes you may not know what students are going through. Thank you.
So let's talk about impact. Let's talk about impact.
how is it going to impact the student? Enhance students' outcomes. We're talking about mentally. We're talking about emotionally. We're talking about physically. How does it impact the teacher? Can you imagine a teacher being able to teach to emotionally stable students? How much they can inspire them, how much they can give into them and pour into them as a teacher with emotionally stable students? What about the community? How does it impact the community? The community can give into this wellness room. We're talking about sponsorships, donations. We're talking about being a parent volunteer, the level 3 volunteer. We're talking about also having students in the community that can go into different stores, see the different community, and be upstanding citizens, right? And what about our data-driven decision making? All of our decision making is going to be data-driven. Once we start to collect the data, that's going to impact our decisions that we have. So objectives, one, to measure the long term. So we're talking about long-term objectives, student well-being and academic performance. Our stakeholders, I just talked about our community. That's how we're gonna see what improvements that we need. The surveys that come in, the community that comes in, the parents that come in, the teachers, the staff, and also the effectiveness of the wellness room for achieving its goals is gonna be monitored with the short term and long term. All right, what will it be measured? The effectiveness, the feedback, the professional development, the students, the well-being, weekly, monthly, biannually, with our principal, our counselors, our Title I, our PTSA, our teachers. Guess what? You can be a part of our PTSA and you can be a part of our monitoring as well. But with Stevenson Middle School, we want to take you from disgust, anxiety, and we want to take you into inside out with our positive, going from negative to positive. And thank you so much for your time.
So with regard to the longevity of the project, and I believe you mentioned a little briefly about this, but can you expand on how the project will be maintained once it's funded or if it's funded?
Absolutely. So yes. Sustainability.
Yes.
As far as monetary, we are going to put a budget line in our PTSA to sustain it monetarily. How we would get it from with the PTSA is through donations, sponsorships, and grants. Every single year, but it will be a budget line in there, so we are prepared to sustain it for years to come.
Do you all currently have the space available at the school to have this wellness room? And if so, what resources do you have in the room at the time?
Actually, thank you for asking that. We actually established a grant with Black Lives Matter that initially has fed into our program. So we're developing that space currently. So there's already an identified space that we're in the process of developing. So this grant will help us push it further along so that we can have our grand opening this school year.
So we have wet paint all on the walls, so we're ready.
In regards to the timeline of opening up this school year, I don't think I've heard the time frame.
Okay. With our implementation, we have within the first January 2025, we will complete our renovations of the room. In February 2025, we'll set up our furniture. That'll be our implementation phase. March 2025 will be our launch and promotion. April 2025, we will have professional development. Preliminary feedback from that room will also include in April 2025. We'll have evaluation and program planning in June 2025 and school year planning in July 2025. And of course, we go all the way into June 2026 in terms of our implementation.
With regard to supervising students, I heard about level 3 volunteers possibly. How would staffing be if volunteers aren't available? What is the backup plan for staffing the room?
So with that in mind as well, we also have buy-in from our school. So it will be staffed by our school counselors.
Okay.
It will be staffed by, of course, your level 3 parent volunteers. And we're only engaging with your tier 1s, okay? It will also be staffed by our teachers. As those students are identified and going into that wellness room, then we'll put the correct personnel in place. They will always be manned. There will always be a person there observing that space along with the student.
You mentioned working with parents, trying to reinforce what's happening in the wellness room. Can you give me a sense of what does that look like? Who's doing the training? How often? What does that mean?
Yes. So as the parent liaison, it's critical for us to remain engaged with our parents, our stakeholders. And so we have monthly workshops for parents where we bring them in to support their students when they're also learning about how they can support their scholars at home in the building. And so that means we would also be training them on our wellness room and offering them tools and how we will monitor their students' progress for those who visit. So we have staff. We'll also be doing monthly workshops with parents as well.
And the district offers a lot of opportunities already that we can tap into and have people come. So we've actually engaged with a couple of people from the district that are willing to come in and do a lot of our workshops with us.
All right, and our first question is, how do you feel you did with the Shark Tank presentation?
Oh, we nailed it. Put that check in the mail.
If you guys win, how would you use the resources?
We would use it to further develop the wellness room.
And could you explain what the wellness room is for your school?
The wellness room is a space where children that are experiencing emotional dysregulation, anxiety, or they just need a break, they can come and actually decompress. It's a space just for them. It will be tooled with papasan chairs, swing chairs, faux carpets, LED lighting, soft lighting. It'll be a calming space that they can come and take a break, reprogram, reset, so that they can get back to their regular school academic day.
Can you explain how that will benefit the school as a whole, and then how teachers and students will benefit from that as well?
So our impact goals are that as a school, we will start to see positive influences on our absentee rates and on our misbehavior rates. And we would like to see those drop as a result of having the wellness room. Specifically, our students will be able to go into the wellness room and have opportunities to regulate themselves, to process their emotions and see what they're going through before they return back to class, where hopefully once they get there, they're able to participate to their full potential. And even as teachers, we're able to go in and to see what our students are going through and to help them through that process, which helps us build relationships so that we can go back into the classroom and better teach.
I think the thing that stands out to me is just creative ways to make learning fun, and the way they have engaged both all of the key stakeholders, the students, the teachers, the staff, and the parents. It's always good to see the level of commitment from all of the key stakeholders in the educational environment.
I'm Jordan McCullough, 4th grade, and I'm Joy.
I'm Elijah Barnes, 3rd grade, and I'm Fear.
I'm Trinity Cooperwood, 3rd grade, and I'm Sadness.
I'm Victoria Barnes, 5th grade, and I'm Disgust.
I'm Jerome Williams III, 4th grade, and I'm Anger.
Imagine. Look at all the tools we have. I made a robot that can dance.
It's amazing, but what if it messes up? And what if it breaks?
Don't worry, we have plenty of support here. Mistakes just mean we're learning. I wish we had more things to work with.
It's not fair how they give one school more supplies than the other.
They get a full-blown 3D printer, but what do we get? Boxes!
Think of the creativity we could unleash. Right now, some of us don't even know what's possible in STEAM.
And students can feel more confident. With the right tools, students can feel more confident at learning new things.
Every student deserves a chance to learn.
All children deserve a chance to build and create.
Students at Wood Ridge, do we love to make learning fun?
Yes!
Do we love joy?
Yes!
Do we love sunshine?
Yes!
Do we need a maker space?
Yes!
Sunshine, no rain. Make space, that's not lame. Let's build it up and make a change.
Listen up, y'all. We're here to create. With science, tech, art, let's innovate.
Engineering skill, then math the mix. A makerspace dream, let's make it legit. We got ideas, so give us the tools. Empowering the students, breaking all the rules. With a place to learn, explore, and grow. With a 10K grant, watch us glow.
Joy, no pain. We want sunshine, no rain. We need a maker space that's not lame. Let's build it up and make a change.
Listen up, y'all, we're here to create. With science, tech, art, let's innovate. Engineering skill, then math the mix. A makerspace dream, let's make it legit. We got ideas, so give us the tools. Empowering the students, breaking all the rules. A place to learn, explore, and grow. With a 10K grant, watch us glow.
Joy, no pain. We need sunshine, no rain. We need a makerspace, it's not lame. Let's build it up and make a change.
All right, Woodridge, what do we need? A
makerspace.
All right, introducing the participants with us today, we have my lovely Team Woodridge students, Victoria Barnes, Jordan McCullough, Jerome Williams III, Elijah Barnes, and Serenity Cooperwood. On my Team Woodridge staff members, myself, Principal Martino, Mrs. Cabell, our media specialist, Ms. Clark, our MTSS specialist, Ms. Pye, technology, and our wonderful gifted teacher, Ms. Woodliff. So what are we seeking, Sharks? We are seeking $10,000 to create our makerspace. With those funds, we will buy furniture and materials. So what is our problem of practice, you ask? Well, here it is. 60% of our students are performing below grade level. We are a Horizon School, which receives 99% free and reduced lunch. Additionally, we need a makerspace to make it equitable and have access to hands-on materials for all of our students. Many of our students at our school face limitations. They don't have the resources that they would need to even engage in STEAM or STEM activities. So how do we solve the problem? I'm glad you asked. We solve the problem by increasing student engagement, foster creativity and problem solving, development skills for workshop, enhance their STEAM skill, and strengthen metacognition. Do we need a makerspace team?
Yes!
All right, but everything we do in DeKalb must link back to our strategic goals. For us, it is goal area 1, student academic success with equity, these are not equal, and access. So here's the impact. STEAM, makerspace naturally aligns with STEAM. We don't have a science lab anymore. Due to allotment and funding, we lost that. And that's where our children were able to engage in these things. Technical skills. They will be able to take on activities like making things with a 3D printer. The makerspace would be the only way students at Woodridge can have access to these resources. Then our students will learn problem-solving skills. They'll face real-world challenges, find the answers to them, as well as students can work on metacognitive skills. And we know everyone wants to do more with problem-based learning. And empowerment. Didn't you feel the empowerment in our students here today? They'll gain a sense of accomplishment and find confidence in their ability. This empowerment can lead to lifelong learning in both academic and personal lives of our children. So who's impacted? All of the children at Woodridge with creativity, metacognition, problem-solving skills, technical skills, empowerment, and confidence. So you're probably asking, this just looks like fun. How will this work? Well, the students will visit the Makerspace Lab where they'll have an orientation. They'll go through and learn about all the things, the expectations, the goals, and how their work will be monitored before even taking a job in the Makerspace. They'll also set monthly goals. With that, they have a maker map where they can choose different activities. And children, do we love choice?
Yes.
Great. They'll be able to choose the project so the teacher's not there telling them exactly what they need to do. And again, documentation. If it's not documented, it didn't happen. So students will submit plans and goals with their monthly projects, and they'll also be able to self-assess. Lastly, reflection. The students will be able to submit a self-reflection and look at what went positively and then also find areas to grow before they start their next project. So with that, Sharks, Team Woodridge is saying, Thank you in advance for our makerspace. Thank you. All right, and welcome my team back up for any questions the Sharks may have.
What is the expected timeline for the makerspace to be implemented?
We have about a 6-month rollout. We've already got a budget and plan, and we already have, it's itemized. We have everything checked out with the companies, so it's all ready to go. We just have to press yes. And so everything's planned out. We have furniture, tables, chairs, cubbies, storage space, materials. One of the school supply places has like this rack. It's called the Makerspace rack, and it has all these great things in it that you can use to build. And we also asked for a 3D printer and an inkjet printer, and the materials that go with the 3D printer and the paper that goes with the inkjet printer. So we're ready to go.
If funded, how will the supplies and the manipulatives and items continue on? How will the funding look for beyond this year?
Beyond this year, the biggest thing for us is getting our startup. We have great partners with the Stewart Foundation and our local churches who are always on board and willing to help us in whatever we need. Of course, with those organizations, they can't fund the 10,000 startup that is needed, but when there are supplies needed, just like when it was virtual learning, they bought headphones for all our students, whiteboards for all our students, and all the supplies they need. So they are more than willing to jump on board to make sure that our Makerspace Lab goes well beyond just a year of implementation.
What's the implementation plan for how students will go to the Makerspace?
I'm glad you asked. I made a Google form that teachers can fill out as a request for a time slot, and that will come directly into an Excel, a Google sheet, Excel spreadsheet, and I will check on it, and then I would email the teacher back. There's a process. They email, they wait for confirmation, then those kids can come. I'm going to create Makerspace passes for each classroom, so the teacher will send the child, they'll have passes ready to go, so everyone on the building will know that child is going to the Makerspace, because we have a room all ready to go. We have a small school, but we still need to know where everybody's going in it, so so it's all planned out, ready to go.
And how many students does the school have?
433, and that includes our pre-K and pre-K special needs program as well.
And the space is staffed
throughout the day.
Yes, we have a paraprofessional who was on board, and she's an instructional paraprofessional, which is excellent because usually as a paraprofessional is either tied to pre-K or the exceptional education program. But with this instructional paraprofessional, she's flexible to manage our Makerspace Lab.
Was that just one para?
Yeah.
And will classrooms be able to go at a time or individual students?
Right now, we're looking at just individual students or groups of students. So just like during the work period, and if students are working on a problem that may connect back to science or social studies, that group of students can then go into the Makerspace Lab, just like they spend time often going into the Media Center.
Yeah, we envision a flex scheduling like they do in the Media Center.
The Media Center.
Are you all going to also apply for grants outside of your community partners?
Yes. Yes, and we actually, this year I started a grants and partnership committee at our school. So I have about 3 staff members, which includes our bookkeeper, because you want to make sure everything is legal and according to the way it should be with the school board guidelines. But we have a committee already set and ready to go. And we just secured partnerships from Costco as well, so we're already working and going.
I'm looking at the sustainability plan. It mentions a subscription model. What is that? Can you give more details on the subscription model?
The subscription model?
Yeah, it's Woodbridge. Make sure I'm looking at it. It says subscription model, exploring a subscription model where community partners can contribute monthly.
Well, like Principal Martinez said, we're hoping to if we win the Makerspace, to tie into some of our partners and have an ongoing, show them. I think that we have to like dig into it, and it's sort of an organic process, like what materials the kids will use the most, what materials will they not use, and try to get an idea and accounting of what we'll have needs for before we can ask for a subscription from, or help from, continual help from another outside source. You see what I'm saying? Like I know paper will be one, but I don't know, and I'm sure the 3D printer will be used notes. But other than that, I'm not sure, so I want to make sure that we're not asking for materials that we don't need.
I was going to say overstocked in one area and then deficient in the other. And so even with our partnership committee, we've asked different organizations within our school and grade levels, if they have a need, go ahead and submit those needs to that committee. That way, when they're soliciting partnerships and funds, those things, we're not, again, just purchasing things that we don't need, but it's a running list that the staff members can submit to the partnership and grants committee. So when the organization has maybe goods or funds to offer, we can work through that list.
So our first question is, how do you feel you did with the Shark Tank presentation?
Very good.
Very good.
Amazing. We ate the steak. We ate.
We believe we did an awesome job. We put in a lot of work. Ms. Woodliff, our leader here, did a great job, along with Ms. Cabell and Ms. Clark, working on our script and our presentation. They practiced hard with the students, and we know we can do it today. So go ahead and give us that makerspace, Sharks.
So follow-up question, if you guys win, how would you use the resources?
Well, we hope to create a makerspace, right?
Yeah, we would make makerspace.
We need a makerspace.
That's not lame. We could like use it to help kids express themselves through art and like help them learn new things and be creative. And our school needs a makerspace because I think the makerspace would help kids unleash their like education and creativity.
I also have something to say also, and I think our school needs a makerspace because the makerspace and all the supplies that it comes with helps make learning creative and meaningful.
Yeah, and also I think we need I think this school needs a makerspace because students will be able to express themselves by building things that'll like show people how they are and how they feel about different stuff.
That's so great. So how would you guys go about implementing this into your school, and then how are you going to ensure that it's long lasting?
We will take care of all the materials.
Yeah, we would take good care of it.
Treat them like me.
Try not to overload the 3D printer. Yeah.
And tell people to put the caps back on the marker.
Yes.
And the glue sticks. And tell the people to keep the tips on the marker and the highlighter. And don't snap pencil like this.
And you see all my children are very excited. So again, while we need the makerspace, because if you see this excitement from this Fab 5 here, you can imagine. But on the adult side, we'll make sure that we have a sign-up sheet so students and teachers have access to it equally. And with that, we'll be able to have about 20 students into the makerspace at one time. And again, it's on a rotating basis. And we'll also have checks and balances so students can check their progress along the way.